Soulful shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, this some social shit for everyone, you know what I'm saying? Like, I made this beat myself, so hear me. I mean, like, we can pull that clown shit away. This some real shit for you. I'm spazzing right now, so listen, let's go. Yeah. It's in their bones, the thugs in harmony for the love of the money. Then fall victim for the cookie, then turn pussy, it's lonely. You said you hold it down when life get rough, we're here now, so show me. We move them losses to them wins. Heavy pounds, we make it ends meet. Converse with only a few who make me feel like I be 10 feet.
Welcome back to the channel, people. It's G. You already know the ties, you know the vibes already. We are back in the building. Guys, please make sure, as per usual, you already know the deal. Make sure you're smashing that like button. Make sure you do share and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, what the hell are you waiting for? Liverpool have just made a signing. We've just made a signing. We finally we finally made a signing, albeit a player who won't actually join the club until next season. But we've made a signing nonetheless, and that is goalkeeper Giorgi Mamardashvili, the Valencia Georgian goalkeeper. As I mentioned before, will obviously join the football club next season. So we'll stay at Valencia for one more season. Technically, I believe that will be on loan. And then, of course, he'll move to Liverpool. 30 million euros with 5 million, I believe, I think it is, in add-ons, as reported by Fabrizio Romano. Yeah, listen, taking a look at someone like, Mamardashvili, look, I think in terms of the goalkeeper himself, I think he's an up-and-coming goalkeeper. He's 23 years of age, of course, got international experience, been playing in the Liga now for a little while. So, he's got the experience and stuff like that I guess you'd want in regards to, getting someone in who isn't just a, I don't want to say project, so to speak, because I feel like not that he's beyond the word project, but just the sheer fact that, this isn't like a young 18-year-old goalkeeper, and he's 23 years of age now. So of course he's a goalkeeper who's not coming into his prime, but maybe the phrase I'm kind of looking for is like someone who's at a certain kind of level. And especially when you've got Alisson as your number one goalkeeper, of course, you're not necessarily looking for someone of his kind of wavelength, but you are looking at someone who is projected. That's probably the best phrase I can use. Someone who's projected, to be a top goalkeeper in the future. I think, looking at his type of style of play, I think you're talking about a keeper who is, really good at commanding his area, especially when he's coming for crosses and things like that. I think he's definitely someone who I look at and think, he's big, he's imposing, he would definitely do okay when it comes to, in my opinion, of course, I don't know how that looks in the Premier League, but from how you can kind of see it, he looks like the physical side of things, which some keepers you do struggle with, especially when they first come into the Premier League. I think he'll be okay, in that kind of regards. Shot stopping, absolutely brilliant. Which is obviously the fundamentals of being a goalkeeper, which is so weird that, you can probably tell that there's a but or a however coming in, and I think quite a lot of people have spoken about Mamardashvili already, both good and the bad. Big up Pythagoras in Boots. They've done a really good tactical analysis on the goalkeeper. So I advise you guys to go check them out, to be honest with you. But, I was taking a look at that, looked at a few other highlights, looked at a couple of Valencia games, just watched like extended highlights of their matches, just to kind of see. And of course, Valencia play a completely different style, to Liverpool. They're also not a very good team in their own league, respectively, should I say, sorry. So obviously it's two different teams that you're coming to. Now, that doesn't necessarily take away from the goalkeeper, because the goalkeeper will do what the goalkeeper does, right? And more often than not, you are looking at, is this keeper a good shot stopper? That I can definitely say, in my humble opinion, he is a really, really good shot stopping keeper. I think it's tricky. We were, big up ends, because we did speak about this on his stream, just in regards to like, him as a goalkeeper. And it's so weird, because we're living in a day and age where the top teams anyway, in terms of the way that they play, and to be honest, I take that back, not even just the top teams, because you've got teams like Brighton and stuff like that, who are doing that, playing a certain style of football as well. But most of these teams that we are seeing now in today's day and age, they need their goalkeeper to be comfortable in possession. They need their goalkeeper to not panic in certain situations and have the kind of sense of calmness about them whereby they can make the right decisions. Do I believe that Mamardashvili right now is making those right decisions? I would probably say no. I think that is definitely, and of course, like I said, he's only 23. So I'm not here to play big up scraps because I know he's going to call me what is it, the Phantom of Doom or whatever it was that he called me. But yeah, I think when you're looking at a goalkeeper like this, styles make fights, as they say in boxing. And I feel like with a goalkeeping area, obviously Liverpool don't want to be in a position where in a couple of seasons' time, Alisson potentially, heck, even maybe next season, Alisson says he wants to leave, going to take whatever Saudi money, potentially move back to Brazil, whatever it is, and Liverpool are stuck in a situation where there's not that many top class keepers around. So of course, getting in someone like Mamardashvili does make sense in that kind of regards, of course. But for me, it's all about the styles. I look at, say, for example, and I know Manchester City can sometimes be seen as like an outlier because of the amount of money that they can kind of spend. But when I look at Manchester City, when Pep Guardiola kind of came in, we all know about Joe Hart, that whole situation. I think Joe Hart might have been coming off winning the Golden Glove potentially, in that the season prior, to Pep Guardiola coming in. But as soon as he came in, one of the first few things he mentioned was he needed a goalkeeper who could play with his feet. Getting in Claudio Bravo, goalkeeper who he felt was a bit more comfortable playing out from the back and his style of football. Then obviously moving on to someone like Edison, who was a bit younger, a bit more agile, was probably equally as good, if I'm being honest, as a Bravo at the time anyway. Maybe a little bit better potentially, but Claudio Bravo was pretty decent. I'm not gonna dismiss him, but you get in that kind of goalkeeper because obviously you're talking about probably, and I'd say he's better than Neuer when it comes to, playing out from the back, being comfortable in possession in that kind of regards. Obviously, Neuer's really good, but he in his prime anyway, but he does it he did it in a different kind of way, in terms of, the way that he played, kind of thing. Neuer took at times, in my opinion, some real unnecessary risk. Now, that might just be tactically, obviously at the time, Pep Guardiola at Bayern Munich and stuff like that. But Neuer just seems like that type of character, whereas Edison, this guy can take penalties and stuff like. You could just see that he could be an outfield player, in a different lifetime. He could definitely be, seen as an outfield player because his passing range is absolutely phenomenal. As in, there's outfield players that I don't even think have the same level of passing range, as someone like Edison, which obviously helps in their kind of system. You look at the way Brighton play, last season, was it Alex Steele I think it was Alex Steele or someone like that was in goal for them last season under De Zerbi. This season you got Verbruggen. Again, look at the way that they like to use their goalkeeper, but then also look how comfortable said goalkeeper is in possession, because that's the kind of thing that they're looking for. Now, obviously, these goalkeepers are still pretty decent when it comes to shot stopping. They may not be the best. I wouldn't put them up there as like top 5 goalkeepers in the world as an example, or even project them to be so, to be honest with you, because I don't know what that looks like in 5 years' time in terms of how we look at goalkeepers. But when I do think about some of these goalkeepers, that's where I start to think, okay, will Mamardashvili really be the right fit for Liverpool? Or is it an area that you just think, because he's so good at one thing, in terms of his shot stopping ability is really, really good. And the way that he parries, some of these chances away, which then means that there is no there's not going to be many second chances. Then maybe it might not be too bad. I do question, the whole sweeper keeper kind of thing that he has done at times, for Valencia. Is that going to work in a team like Liverpool? Not to say that we play a massively high line, but we do play a tad bit of a high line, and we do ask for our goalkeeper to be pretty decent in these 1v1 situations, because we're going to have situations, whereby, you're going to be left by yourself in no man's land, at times. Is it going to be like nosebleed settings, in these kind of situations? I hope not. Again, these are the kind of areas that I'm looking at. It isn't so much about the actual being a goalkeeper that I'm worried about when it does come to someone like Mamardashvili. If we do take a look, here at, his stats and stuff like that. This is from F Brief. If we take a look at some of the statistics, and I'll show you guys his statistics now. You can see, like, in terms of stats, he comes up all right. To be honest with you, I wouldn't say it's anything too crazy. Launching goal kicks. I think that's about it for the goalkeeper section. So 2.96, obviously Valencia being Valencia. So he has to make saves, quite a lot of saves, in games and stuff like that. Penalty kicks, he's pretty decent, this again in the last year. Anyway, his save percentage is 73.3%. Again, I take into context the sheer fact that, he does play for, Valencia. So of course, some of that is going to look a little bit crazy. His pass lengths, his throws attempted in games, 4.2, per game. The amount of crosses that he faces, 14.34. Crosses stopped, 1.21. As I said, stats wise, he's okay. It's not anything, would I say, worrying, so to speak, when it comes to like stats and stuff like that. Save percentage, shots faced, shots saved. As I mentioned there, obviously about the crossing and stuff like that. Like I said, Mamardashvili he's not a bad keeper. And I think, when he officially signs for Liverpool, next season, I will do a deeper analysis, taking a look at him. Obviously, for now, he's a Valencia player. So we're definitely going to be watching Valencia, this season to just really take a look, at his performances. And I think we can then take a real closer look at him over this next year, because obviously him being at Valencia right now, especially the sheer fact that, with time, things may change. He may even be told, certain things potentially by the Liverpool staff. Obviously, can't interfere too much because he is technically a Valencia player, but obviously signs for Liverpool next season, so can't really interfere, I guess, too much. But there might be little things, in his game that we may be talking about, to him and his team, just to be like, hey, look, if you can just try and improve upon this, this season, that will stand him in good stead for next season. Like I said, you never know. I have no idea what's going to happen with the situation with Alisson. I have no idea. I really don't know what that looks like for Alisson. I know Alisson's already come out, and said, in regards to, staying at Liverpool Football Club, and that's great for now. That's pretty cool, and I think his contract expires 2026 with an option for another year. Again, all of that stuff sounds great right now as of today, and I know people getting gassed and excited, which is fine, but things can change so quickly in 12 months. You have no idea. Can't commit for that long unless he signs a new deal. I'm sorry, but football players cannot commit further than a year. I'll be honest with you. We've seen so many examples, like too many examples for you to be so gullible in thinking that, oh yeah, because he said he wants to stay and he has a contract here, that means he won't leave next season, or stuff like that. But we know, man, we fully know how this thing goes. So in regards to that kind of stuff, for me, I'm not looking past the end of this season. When it comes to someone like Alisson, for me, he's here till the end of the season. That's about as much as I know. To be honest with you, landscape for me could easily change. Would I be that fast? Not really. Because if Liverpool believe that Mamardashvili is the next big thing, then you've got him in now. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You've already got him in. It's just about really embedding him in to the team, the style of play, what Slot wants from his goalkeeper and things like that. But I don't know, it's giving me signs of like it's almost giving me signs of Donnarumma, but just not. Obviously, I have to wait and see how he does for Liverpool first. Like Donnarumma comes in with this like massive reputation from AC Milan, young Italian goalkeeper, the heir to Buffon and for the Italian national team and stuff like that. And then he's gone to PSG, and I don't know. It's almost like there's weaknesses in his game that just keep getting exposed. So I don't rate Donnarumma. This is just my opinion, but I now don't look at Donnarumma the same way that I did before. I don't know. It's weird. It gives me that kind of vibe. But again, styles make fights. So it is really going to come down to, will he be able to, hack the style of football that Liverpool play? Because if not, Liverpool going to be looking for another goalkeeper. I promise you that. But listen, I've got faith. I think Mamardashvili is a good goalkeeper. I don't want to pour, salt to the wound, or, I don't want to pour cold water or anything like that in terms of, the way that I look at him. I still like the keeper. I still think he's a good keeper. I just hope that he'll work for what Slot wants his keepers to do. Obviously this is with the idea that Slot's still going to be here, what I mean, next season. So yeah, I think we'll wait and see, in that regards, and then we'll take it from there. But like I said, we'll do a deeper analysis on someone like Mamardashvili. But Liverpool have signed him, and he will join next season. Guys, make sure you do smash that like button, share, and subscribe. Let me know your feelings on Liverpool's first signing of the window, and I'll catch you guys on the other side. Peace.